What's up, galera? Welcome to Sao Paulo, the biggest city in all of the Americas, the biggest city in Brazil, of course. It has over 11 million people. In fact, it's the 10th biggest economy in all of the world. But when you ask people about Sao Paulo, nobody knows anything. So I felt it was my responsibility as someone who's been living in Sao Paulo for about 3 years to show the world what it's like on a typical day in Sao Paulo, how the Paulistanos live, as they're called here. So we're gonna take a little tour. Am I gonna show you everything in one day? Absolutely not. It has over 11 million people, and this city is extremely diverse. It has the most Japanese people living outside of Japan, the most Italians living outside of Italy. In fact, they eat over 1 million slices of pizza per day. Crazy. It has over 20,000 restaurants, 30,000 bars. But still, in one day, there's so much that you can see. So I'm gonna take you to the Avenida Paulista first, the Paulista Avenue. It's one of the most culturally important hubs of all of Sao Paulo. Behind me you have Nove de Julio, which is another thoroughfare in the city that connects the historic center with the Avenida Paulista. So let's take a little rolê, as they like to call it here. Let's take a little stroll on the Avenida Paulista and show you what they're up to here on a Friday. Let's go. Vamos. Behind me we have the Avenida Paulista and the MASP, the largest museum in all of Latin America. There's some great contemporary art in there. And this is kind of a meeting place where people come, they can hang out. Let's meet at the MASP. And if you look behind me, you can see Nove de Julio, and you see some amazing street art. One thing Sao Paulo is known for is amazing graffiti artists. Maybe you have heard of Cobra. He has installments all over the world, including New York City and New Jersey right by my house. So let's take a little walk on the Paulista because I'm a little hungry and I'm a little thirsty. It's Friday, it's almost happy hour. I know that Paulistanos, they like to drink. And now I've traveled a long way to the rainforest. This is actually part of the Mata Atlântica, the Atlantic rainforest. It's preserved, and we're very far from the Paulista. Psych! We're still on one of the busiest streets in all of Sao Paulo, but they have a little park right across from the MASP called Trion, the preserved part of the Atlantic rainforest. It's a little breath of fresh air to escape from the hustle and bustle of the city. This is the street that coffee built. In fact, Sao Paulo is really a city built by coffee, but when the center started getting too crowded, the big coffee producers, the people that got rich from coffee, started building mansions along this street. And now it's the most important street in all of Sao Paulo. Most of the most famous businesses are here. So let's get a little brigadeiro, which is a snack at a bakery that all Brazilians like. There's no person that doesn't like brigadeiro. Let's go. You can even hear some Taylor Swift. In fact, you might recognize that brand behind us. It's spelled a little different because in Brazil, McDonald's, they call Mackie. Remember I was talking about how the big coffee producers used to build mansions on this street? Well, this is a former coffee mansion that's been turned into a McDonald's. Brazil. Brazilians love to work out. Throughout the city, you're going to see these little mini gyms. So if you don't want to join a gym while you're here, but you want to stay in shape, check it out. Two's enough. You got the point, right? Right now we're on Rua Augusta, or Augusta Street. This is one of the main nightlife centers in all of Brazil. It's famous for the Rolê Alternativo, which means the kind of alternative parties, big LGBT scene. It's daytime right now, so you wouldn't notice, but at nighttime this place has a completely different vibe, completely different character. So we're gonna keep walking towards the center of town, historic center, towards Praça Roosevelt, to see where the skaters like to hang out. Let's go. Right now we're in Praça Roosevelt. Funny, it's actually named after President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. It's a center for counterculture, skating. Behind you can see some amazing graffiti. A cidade é nossa means the city is ours. This street's called Consolação. It's one of the bookends of the Paulista. And right there is the church, Nossa Senhora de Consolação, Our Lady of Consolação. Most of the names of the neighborhoods in Sao Paulo take the name of a church, just like this one. Down the street also is one of the main universities in Sao Paulo, Mackenzie, actually started by an American. Sao Paulo is known as the Selva de Pedra, the concrete jungle. But everywhere throughout the city, you see amazing trees just like this one right here.
Such a great song.
Right now we're in the Copan, one of the most famous buildings in all of Sao Paulo, built by one of the most famous Brazilian architects, Niemeyer. Right here we have a statue of a jaguar. Throughout the city there's a statue of jaguars to bring awareness to the fact that this animal could go extinct. And ironically, behind us, the bar is called Bar de Dona Onça, Bar of the Lady Jaguar. I can't make this up. Inside the Copan, it's really a world in and of itself. It's a mall, it's also a residential building, and behind us is Café Floresto, one of the best places to get a coffee in all of the city, a city that coffee built. Can't go wrong. Now I'm in Praça República, one of the main plazas here in Sao Paulo. Behind us we have Edifício Italia, one of the most famous buildings, the Secretary of Education, and the Metro. The Sao Paulo Metro carries over 5 million people per day, and now I'm taking it here at rush hour. Might not be the best time to try it, but let's do it, because I have some night plans. It's Sunday and I'm back on the Paulista. Sunday on the Paulista is a special day because they close the street to traffic and people can walk around. There's a lot of street performers, there's street fairs, food, great music. If you're here on Sunday, definitely check it out. So I'm gonna take you on a little tour. I'm gonna get a traditional snack, I guess I would call it. Not exactly a meal, it's called a pastel with caldo de cana, which is just sugarcane juice. So let's check it out. Example of one of these classic coffee mansions is Casa das Rosas, the House of Flowers. You can go in there, it's turned into a museum. There's a lot of cool architecture. On the other side of the street, you can see a famous mural of the Brazilian architect Oscar Niemeyer, who designed Brasilia. Pretty cool. So I'd recommend checking out Sesc. It's a cultural organization. They have them throughout Sao Paulo, actually throughout Brazil. This one on the Paulista, it's free to go up, and it has the best view of all of the Paulista. Tudo bem? Joia! I have my pastel here. Pastel is basically a fried pastry. You can get many different things inside, but this has chicken and a Brazilian cream cheese called catupiry. It's a tradition on Sundays. Good tradition. And to wash it down, you need a caldo de cana, which is just a sugarcane juice, no alcohol. Pretty sweet though. Great combination. We even have an Elvis impersonator. There's a lot of stuff going down on the Paulista. Now we're on the other side of the Paulista in a district called Gardens or Jardins. This is the rich part of the city. It's a beautifully planned neighborhood. It's actually 3 neighborhoods. This is Jardim Paulista. All the streets are named after cities in the state of Sao Paulo. There's also Jardins America and Jardins Europa. Basically, this is a planned neighborhood, tree-lined streets, upscale restaurants and cafes, luxury apartments and mansions. It is certainly a different Sao Paulo than we saw walking down Consolação to the Centro, or the center. Behind me, there's an Irish pub, one of the few Irish pubs in the whole city, O'Malley's. Besides Irish pubs, you can find French-style bistros like Paris 6 or Paris 6. One of the most famous restaurants in the neighborhood is Z Deli. Maybe the best hamburger in town. That might start a little argument, but it's always packed and it's always good. Maybe the street that best captures the opulence of Sao Paulo is Oscar Freire. Think of it as 5th Avenue or Rodeo Drive, where you can do some shopping, spend a lot of money. I actually don't shop here because I don't have any money. Cars here are Mercedes, BMWs, cream of the crop. Behind me there's a store called Panties. I guess they sell panties. The street is definitely a place to see and be seen. People are always arrumado, dressed nicely, with the nicest brands, nice car, showing off a little ostentação, as they say in Portuguese, ostentation. You can even find a spa for your dog. Another good option for a burger is Cabana Burger. My friend does the PR for them, so if I said Z Deli without mentioning Cabana Burger, I think she'd get mad at me. Definitely good burger, check it out. I'm at my friend's house, Ibrahim, he's from Saudi Arabia. It's a very diverse... We're speaking English now.
Ah, okay.
We're at his house in Jardins and he's fixing it up. It looks pretty nice. I like this neighborhood.
Welcome.
Thank
You're
you.
always welcome.
Thank you. And it's right next to Ibirapuera, which is basically the Central Park of Brazil. We're going to a bar called Velosa, which is famous for a special Brazilian snack called coxinha. You really have to get here early or you will not get a seat. Let's go inside. I think I have a table waiting for me. This is called a coxinha, and Veloso is famous for their coxinhas. It's one of the best coxinhas in all of Sao Paulo, maybe all of Brazil. It is like a finger food. You can find this almost anywhere, but not all of them are as good as this. So let's try it. In Brazil, it's customary to eat with a napkin, so you don't get your hands dirty. It's very, very good. Look at that filling. So basically it's chicken and Brazilian cream cheese catupiry, kind of like the pastel that I had. Come to Veloce, have to try a caipirinha. Say it with me, a caipirinha. It's the traditional Brazilian drink made with Brazilian cachaça. Cachaça is not rum. It's made from sugarcane distilled. And this is a variation of the caipirinha. It's made with 3 different limes, or lemons actually, lemons. And I'm gonna try it. But be careful, they're dangerous. Last stop on our tour of Sao Paulo is Parque Ibirapuera. Think of it as the Central Park or the Hyde Park of Sao Paulo. It's the lung of the city, a place to escape the craziness. It's a beautiful park, great on the weekends, great any day. So there's so much more to see here in Sao Paulo, and I hope to show you one day. But if you liked it, tell me some other cities you'd like to see. I'm trying not to get run over by a bicycle. Always look both ways. Oh yeah, there's a cool little monument over there and a little marquee designed by Neymar. If there was an important building, it was probably designed by Neymar. Okay, not Neymar, Neymar. Okay, I'll see you next time. Peace.